Ditemi, ditemi dov'è, come posso trovarla? E l'udiamo gridare, l'ultimo canto è per te. Dico a te l'ultima mia parola disperata senza pianto. Mare infinito, come il mio dolore.
Forever Bound. It feels like they're escaping, possibly. I mean, you have the eerie music, the musician's glare, it's kind of scary. The makeup that looked like it was almost tear stained coming down their cheeks. And you have those moments, but then there's also these moments of extreme serenity and peace, juxtaposition with these moments where I feel this turmoil. And I think the music affects the feeling that I had when I was watching, depending on what was playing, affected how I felt. Moments of the serenity for me came in when they're walking into the ocean. And then for once, they're not bound. I noticed that there was always some sort of like binding, whether it was hands or cloth or something. And then in this one moment, it seems like they go off into their separate directions and it's like they have their independence. And I felt the sense of love between these two figures in this film. And I mean, such beautiful actors that they chose for this, and just a sereneness and picturesque way that they kind of represented themselves and held themselves up. It was just simple, but also very beautiful.
Forever Bound really does capture that feeling of being like bound to another person. Some of the imagery really evokes like weddings, and it does kind of give the film like this very powerful sense of like how deep and how strong that kind of marriage bond actually is, which is really cool. It's also got lots of mythic resonances. There are parts that kind of evoke Orpheus and Eurydice. There are bits that seem a bit kind of Garden of Eden-y with their own like tempter. And I think those mythic resonances kind of give the film a timeless feeling, which kind of makes it feel like it's been around forever, which folds back into the idea of being forever bound. So I thought that was very clever. But then you also have like the statue versions of them, which reinforces that idea of like eternity, but also they're kind of crumbling, they're in disrepair, which adds interesting nuance to that idea of being forever bound. And I think there's some really, really, really gorgeous imagery, like the shot towards the end when they're both like separating and descending into the like misty covered water, like really conveys a really great sense of melancholy, which is really moving. And yeah, it's just a very interesting film that leaves quite an impression on you. There's lots to unpack, which I like.
Forever Bound. The visuals on this were so stunning. I mean, the cinematography and the camera work was so creative. It was really, really enjoyable to watch. And the performers that were there all did such an incredible job. I think that the sculptures that they would cut to these beautiful, almost like half-done sculptures. And that was just astounding. I loved it. They added music in perfect places. And the music was so cool. I don't know if this is going to make sense. But the way that the music was done, it was eerie but charming at the same time. So it had that beautiful balance to it that really added a whole nother layer to this film. I loved it. Yeah, I think that you guys did a fantastic job with this, and it was beautiful to watch.
Forever Bound. Forever Bound is a nice experimental short. There is I can feel the struggle of the main character, but I think there is a fantastic mix between dance and nature. I really loved the use of violin as well, and I like how the two main characters start this dance in the nature, in the woods, and then at some point the violin starts, and there is another character playing the violin, and they merge together, in this continuous. How can I say, this flow of events, of feelings that keep mixing with each other, all expressed through the use of music. and dance. So I think it was a very well done production and a really interesting experimental short with a beautiful and I would say at times angry but at other times peaceful music. So overall a great short. Congratulations.
This ship is for Forever Bound. I love this location. The violin stressing out, the close up shots, very dramatic, very emotional. I like the colored, very fashionable costumes and the artistic sculptures that you see through. It is quite deep and poetic. The scene at the lake, I love that one. And we also get some rain in contrast with the title and the music. I just loved it. Great work.
Forever Bound. This is a visual translation to a poem, but the short film itself gives a modern Greek mythology translation almost. Whereas when you look at Medusa, you turn into stone. Or when you're in certain worlds in Greek mythology, you can't look back, or else no good comes from it. In this world being showcased to us, in this world that we live in, when we physically disconnect from our partner, we turn into these half encased sculptures, which only emphasizes this Greek appeal almost. This piece isn't period. In fact, within the world we live in, it's white or black. The only time that we see color is in the costuming on screen when Fate is wearing red, playing the violin as the fated lovers have drifted touch. There are sculptures becoming forever bound. The two start off in white and end in white as well, while they're in the water as well, encapsulating this black of death almost. White giving us this sense of purity, and water symbolizing a rebirth that is taking place. The hair and makeup and blends in with the costuming really well here. The lace giving a sense of delicacy. I like the fact that there is little to no dialogue within this piece. Most of the words, I assume, must be lyrics to the poem itself.